Hi, Steve. It's good to see you again.
Hi, how you doing?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'd ask you how your week's going, but I want to know if you'd like to continue where we left off last week, or is there something else more pressing?
No, that's fine. We can carry on.
Are you frozen? Oh,
I
okay,
don't think
great.
so.
Um, Last week, we talked a little bit about how you're not feeling considered by your wife and kids. And we also talked about stress management and how you're dealing with stress. How has this week gone with dealing with stress? How have you been managing?
Pretty well. Yeah, I think I'm in a season. I was writing in my journal that I think the theme that's coming up is learning how to carry heavy weights without being crushed and still pour out.
Hmm,
So
that's a hard thing to learn.
it is. Yeah. So you can't say, "Oh, everything has been great." It hasn't been great, but it's been good. Like, God's been good. He showed up. He's been sustaining. So.
Hmm. How have you shown yourself consideration this week and been getting your needs met?
I haven't. I don't. hmm, I don't know how I would go about doing that. I take care of myself. I respect my own time. Uh,
You mentioned last week that you had some space in the morning to make for
mhm,
quiet times. And then you
yeah,
also mentioned that there was some life-giving friends that gave you a sense of community because you were feeling lonely. So I just wondered,
mhm.
have you been able to keep up your quiet time and have you been able to connect with those friends at all?
Yes, yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Like I respect my own time. So I still, I guess if that counts, then I do take care of myself in that way.
Hmm. Have you had any meaningful conversations with those four guys at all?
Oh yeah, tons. Yeah. I mean, pretty much anytime we get together, we have a good time. Good talk. We get ridiculously deep over stupid stuff.
You seem like that's really life-giving.
It is.
How has it been with your wife?
Um, Up and down. It's been up and down. Like I know that she's under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure, and I try to make space for her and be gentle and kind and patient with her. And
Hmm.
sometimes she's not able to return it, but it usually comes from a place that makes sense. So, I just kind of give her grace and hold space for her.
That sounds really hard. Um, yeah, that sounds really hard.
Well, it's
How do
pretty
you,
easy to do it because, I really love her. So I like doing that for her. It's just hard when it's take advantage of or not reciprocated. That's
um,
where it gets tough.
how do you feel when you are taken advantage of and it's not reciprocated?
Taken advantage of and unreciprocated.
Do you feel any sense of anger or resentment?
Hang on a second. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Do you do you feel any sense of anger or resentment?
I think it would be ridiculous to say I didn't feel a little bit of resentment. Um, but I try to look past not just like my resentment, but like what's causing it, like where she's coming from, and
Mm.
try to like create some empathy and understanding of where she's coming from, and not hold her to too tough of a standard. Just try to show her grace. And yeah, it's tough not getting that back, but you know, it, we've been doing a lot of work in school and been doing a lot of work, like talking to you, with some of my friends about being able to do that, being able to be that, put a fuse on the temper, you know. So I've been preparing for this. I just kind of didn't wish I needed to use all of my lessons in a quick succession, rapid fire.
Is there anything you feel you want to talk about today, specifically that came up for you?
Um, okay, so this is something I was talking to my sister about. The idea of understanding that God's teaching you a lesson, right?
Mm,
And you're like, okay, got it. I get this. Like I'm in school. I'm here to learn a lesson. Ooh, I see the lesson. I know what I'm supposed to be learning. I'm like, yay. Okay, can I move on to the next lesson? No, I need you to sit with this. I'm like, okay, am I done? No, no, you're not done. And so it builds up tension, it builds up frustration. Um,
mm,
going back to that theme of like carrying heavy weights, not being crushed.
yeah.
Another thing that's been coming up in my journals is not feeling a very close presence with God,
Mm,
but knowing He's there, and really trying to get down and divide between, the necessity of having that feeling versus the
mhm.
confidence of trusting that it's there even when you don't feel it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's been tough contending with that, but it's been good. It's just tough.
It seems important to you to feel God's presence or his closeness.
Yes. Yeah, I think I'm always looking for that validation, and I don't think I get it. And getting it from God is like the best. So I'm like, oh, I can always turn this on. And then I'm finding like, no, I can't always turn that on. Like,
Hmm.
and I
What do you
think I
mean
started to,
by what do you mean by turn it on?
well, like, I don't know, like there are times when you get into a place, a present, a posture, or whatever, where you just feel the presence of the Holy Spirit, you
Mm,
know? And then there are times when you can't. And the immediately thought is like, oh, what am I doing wrong? Oh, like how do I get back to that posture? And I'm learning like that's not a thing, that's not even a thing. It's like I want to do the introspection, make sure my heart's right, but I can't always chase that feeling. Sometimes you just have to get up and start doing it and know that you're covered, you know?
yeah, I hear
And
you.
it's tough. It's really tough. Like I think I saw a verse in Psalms where David's like, "Oh Lord, how long will you hide your face from me?" And I'm like, has that always been there? Because it doesn't seem like that's a thing, but totally a thing. And I've just been learning to live that out and
Do,
try to find a way forward in the face of that.
do you find that validation loop of feeling God's presence um, is a measure of your spirituality ever?
Okay, so traditionally, yes,
Hmm.
and I'm learning to get away from that.
It sounds like it.
It's very tough. It's taking off the training wheels. Uh, it's very uncomfortable. But I keep saying this, but it's good. And it is good because even inside of this, like I get confirmation from friends. I'll get confirmation from listening to a sermon. I'm like, oh, God left me a message on my answering machine. You know what I mean? That's what I call it. It's not like not speaking to me directly, but speaking through someone else through a recording. I love that. It's I'm like, okay, okay, I see what you're doing here. Okay, we're still good. And you get to the point where I'm like, man, I just can't take anymore, God. Like I really need a break. And he's like, do you? I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I don't. I guess I could go a little bit further. It's uncomfortable. There's no other way to put it. But no matter how dig I deep, like there's always more to give. You know what I mean?
Mhm. It sounds like you experience God through your emotions and through this feeling of closeness. I'm kind of curious, that feeling of closeness, is that like a warmth on the inside, or is that like a physical sensation? Or how do you experience God's closeness in a tangible way, usually, like typically that you're not experiencing right now?
Yeah, I think there's like this numbing sensation, but it's not bad. It's almost like put your head in the pillow and the pillows just kind of cover your ears and like things kind of get muffled. Does
Hmm.
that make sense? I feel that, and then there's like a warmth, like a like a brain hug.
10
I don't know. That's
minutes.
the best way I can describe it.
That
You
sounds
know,
amazing. I've never heard it described that way before. And so now when he speaks to you, it sounds like through his word and through other people is like a new avenue and a new language that you're learning in this time. And it's,
no. So that's traditionally how it's always been.
oh,
But
okay.
ever since I went through residency week, like I've had very personal, very intimate conversations. Like I was reading through that spiritual disciplines handbook and
Hmm.
practicing multiple of the disciplines in there. And it's just like it was like turning on a light switch. It's like, hey, here's God. Hey, we're here and we're having time together, and He's here for me. And I'll ask a question, and sometimes He'll answer, and it'll be, through an emotion or like just a feeling of being loved or something like that. And sometimes a word, like a verse, will come into my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. That's the response to that. So it was much more active participation, and that was new to me. And then coming down from that, I don't want to say coming
Oh,
down from it, but when that starts to cool off, like I started to freak out. I'm like, no, I want to go back to that and I want it to always be like that.
hmm.
And I'm like, that's a
Who
good
wouldn't?
desire, but it's not
Who wouldn't?
sustainable, and that's
Why
what
do
I'm
you,
learning.
why do you feel it's not sustainable
Um,
to have brain hugs every day?
I know that's a really good question, and I don't know the answer to that. I think of it as like with my children, like when they were babies, I just wanted to hold them and carry them and like bite their feet and squish their faces and all that stuff like that. But then there were times where I wanted to go and watch them play just to observe them and see how they were doing,
Hmm.
and like I'm still watching them and I'm still there ready to run in and scoop them, but I kind of just want to see how they play on their own, and I want to see what lessons that they're learning, what discoveries they're making. And I think that's the place that I'm at with God. He's like, He's not gone, He's still here. He's just, let me run on the leash a little bit.
I hear you. I hear you.
It feels like a growing, a maturing. Yeah.
How does it feel to feel like you're growing and maturing?
Sucks. It means I'm gonna like spiritually soon I'm gonna have to start paying bills, right? No, yeah, it's tough. It's uncomfortable, but it's good. I keep coming back to that, I know, but that's the best way I know how to put it.
My kids, the other day, one of them came to me and said, Mom, when I get old, will you still kiss my boo-boos? And I said, You bet. She said, Can I still crawl in your lap and you hold me? Like, will you still pick me up? And I said, Well, I don't know if I can pick you up, but we can definitely still snuggle. And so that feeling of closeness, no matter what age they are, however mature, I think doesn't leave me as a mom. And
Mm,
I imagine for you as a dad, you wish you could still pick them up sometimes and just hold them when they're kicking and screaming and being like, hey, I'm here. I love you. Um,
mhm.
do you imagine that Father God might still feel that way about you and still enjoy head hugs and wrestle tickles or whatever, whatever your experience is? Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
do you have hope that you'll experience that again?
Yes. In fact, I got a taste of it on Sunday.
Hey, how'd that go?
So it was very validating, and it was great. I remember I was even talking. So Pastor Antonio, he does the music, he plays guitar, but he doesn't sing. And I made a joke about it, him
Wait,
like
wait. He doesn't
great.
sing as in like he's not good at
His
singing,
wife sings. He
or
plays guitar and she sings.
he just
And
chooses not to.
he was saying something about his throat hurt, and I'm like, don't worry, nobody's here to see you anyway. They're here to see Dari. And the middle of service, he was leading like, just spiritual utterances, praying and leading prayer while, and he stopped the song, and I just broke down crying because
Oh,
I just felt the brain hug, and I'm like, I've missed this. This is so great. And I went up like in during the meet and greet, and I'm like, I'm so sorry for what I said at the beginning of this. And even though it was a joke, like God moved through you, and it was through you, it was through your voice. And
come on.
even as a joke, like I take that back. I come against that. Like you're awesome in what you're doing, and your instance, of, your yielding to the Holy Spirit, let him come through me or come to me and like, yeah. So I think of
5
that even
minutes.
a joke. Like, you're awesome. And it was great.
5 minutes.
But I can totally tell that your countenance looks way different than just the last time we met. You seem like you have so much hope and also like this quiet confidence that just kind of seems like it's coming off you. Excuse me. Getting over being sick a little bit.
Mhm. Well, thank you. Yeah, I definitely feel it. Like it's been a tough, but I've been fighting for my space and I've been journaling and there's a lot of really good themes that are coming up in arcs, and like some of my some of my journals are not depressing, but like like I think the dryness comes through, like, and I'm not afraid to be honest with that space because that's what it's there for.
Hmm.
And then like Sunday, when Sundays come through, like I get to have a triumphant entry and it kind of closes that arc and it gives me hope, to keep going.
Do you
So
find you're strengthened when you experience that, like from Sunday? How has that sustained you this week? Has that sustained you has that brought you strength this week in facing
yes,
some of the same battles that you've been going through day after day? How has that
absolutely.
changed your experience?
Well, I don't know if it's changed the experience. It's definitely strengthened and encouraged. Because, like I said, I mean, throughout this whole period, like I've been learning to still pour out even while feeling those heavy weights.
Hmm.
And like I've got a friend tonight, like he's going through it really tough, and my heart goes out to him. And this would be one of those places where I'm like, God, can you go give him a praying hug? Eh, and I think having such a recent experience with that, it gives me hope that like, yeah, God could do that and he's willing to do that. So,
I
my
hear that,
heart,
sorry,
what were you saying?
there might be a delay in our connection. Go ahead.
Um, I think I lost my train of thought. My friend, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm alone in caring for him and loving him. I think God cares for him and loves him too. And there's a strength in that.
Yeah. I hear you saying that the hope that you've been experiencing that is bringing hope to other people, that that's
I hope so.
overflowing.
Yeah. And I think that's the point, and that's definitely where the place that I want to be because I know that when I'm going through the dry times, like the little words of confirmation from other people
Hmm.
have been helping to sustain me and trust and know that God is there. And I really want to turn around and give that to other people.
It's good to hear that you feel valued by the Lord
Yes.
and connected to Him, even when He's speaking a little bit different than what you expected. And
Yes.
you talked at the very beginning about, I just can't turn it on all the time, as if God was a big slot machine or something
Yeah.
rather than a person. And it sounds like you're really learning to walk with Him with a new gait, with an ebb
Hmm.
and a flow, and a partnership in a new way. And you're
What?
maturing. You're maturing. Yes?
1 minute.
Okay. Is there anything else that you needed to talk about before we schedule our time for next week?
No, I think it's a pretty good place. I like to leave on a high, so that's nice.
Well, you just seem so full of joy and you feel so strengthened. Just looking at you, I'm like, wow, your countenance is just so different today than it was 2 weeks ago. And I can tell that you're really connecting to the Lord's strength in a supernatural way. I look forward to seeing you next week. Is the same time work good for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Looking forward to it, Steve.
Thank you.